Welcome, everybody, to the latest edition of Pinfalls. I am John of johnsbeat.com, and joining me, as always, my co-host, who else but Tommy Else.
How you doing, John?
I am well. How are you, sir?
I'm good, buddy.
I see you're resplendent in orange, as am I. But
I am representing John Cena. This was his 20th anniversary this past Monday night on Raw. They celebrated 20 years of John Cena.
But I can't see you.
Yeah, well, moving along. I do remember watching live that night when he made his debut.
Yes.
I was at my buddy's place, and I immediately liked the dude. Like I loved it. I thought that guy is just huge. And then when he came out and Randy Orton showed up on the scene and stuff, I was like, I like this class of guys that are coming around. Then Brock Lesnar and stuff. I mean, like he was, part of a very unique group that's had a lot of longevity, because all those guys in one capacity or another are still working to this day. Randy's the most active of them, but Brock's still around, and and Cena, and so, but I can't say I'm like the biggest John Cena fan, but I appreciate John Cena.
I like Cena. I'm not a huge Cena fan, but I got
nothing against him. I got nothing against him. I just, I don't really pop it. Like I wouldn't lose my mind if John Cena showed up at Raw or something like that.
No, but I would like to see him wrestle again.
Sure, I would too. But anyway, good for him though. 20 years, and he's done a lot in that time, and he's really been an invaluable asset to that company. And he's done more Make-A-Wishes than anybody.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
I mean, that alone is worth, mentioning. So anyway, we have a pay-per-view coming up.
Well, but before we get into that, we have a couple little housekeeping things. First of all, we're on a new home. We've left our former home. We're now going to be on the Johngy OR Else Podcast platform. We're also going to be on the Chicago Patch, as well as johnsbeat.com. It kind of frees us up to do a little bit more, than just focus on one aspect. So we're cool with that. No hard feelings towards our former home, but it's a fresh new start for us.
Yes.
And the other piece is, as I said on the Johngy OR Else Podcast, you've been beating me or tying me lately. So I am putting this out. If I will beat you, if you beat me, I walk away from the show. I've got a backup lined up to have fun with the show. The caveats I make are a tie is not a loss for me, but if we do tie, the proclamation will go to the next episode. So it's either going to be you beat me or I beat you, one way or the other at some point.
So basically, your career is on the line until you lose.
No. If I beat you, then it's off the table. If I beat you this week or this month, or we tie, and then it goes to the next month, and then whoever wins, if I beat you, then the proclamation is off the table.
Right. It doesn't carry over. Yeah, I
Correct.
understand. Yeah, no, that's fair. No, I'm not, this is your thing, man. I'm not trying to get rid of you here. You're the one who wants to make this. I understand what you're doing. It's like when Shawn Michaels told The Undertaker that he has no problem putting his career on the line, because he said, if I can't beat you, I shouldn't be, wrestling. So, I get it.
Now, the other caveat I throw in, and I'm glad that you said you're not looking to push me off the show, because if in the small percentage that you do actually beat me and I have to walk away from the show, I would like the opportunity to apply for reinstatement with whatever conditions that you could come up with of some sort.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, we will not close the door on you. You will leave in good standing either way.
And I have a suitable replacement lined up.
Well, that's what worries me. That is really where my anxiety is coming from.
But
I'm not so concerned about you leaving. If it was like you left and I was just going to do it by myself, I'd say fine. But the fact that you and then I don't have like a say in like who it is who comes in. The fact that you have somebody already, and I swear I know who it is, but I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna just wait and see. But that's what worries me. This whole thing is a setup to that. That's what you're trying to do something to me. You're trying to do something to me.
I'm trying to get in your
this,
head.
And this whole thing is just a way to get this to happen here. So, whatever.
Well,
what am I going to do? I guess
with,
I got to go along with it.
with that being said, let's jump into it. We got Money in the
right.
Bank. It's airing Saturday. We got 6 big matches. Let's start off with let's leave the Money in the Bank matches till the end.
Okay.
So let's start off with the tag team titles. We have the Usos champions defending against the Street Profits.
Yes. I'm gonna go with the Usos. I think that they're gonna hang on to it till SummerSlam, and then I think that the bloodline might just all fall in one fell swoop at SummerSlam. So
I'm thinking the same thing. Usos are not going to lose the titles on this show. Too strong, carrying it too long. I think maybe SummerSlam is the time where they lose and Roman loses, and
the Street Profits may be the ones who win it at SummerSlam. Yeah, I mean, I this is nothing against the Street Profits. I just think storyline wise, it's like, I'm all, they've already announced that they're going to have Brock versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam and everything, and there's no way they're bringing Brock back to come back and lose to him again.
Right.
There's nothing to be gained by that at all. So this has got to be it for Roman Reigns. This has got to be it. And if it's not, then you're really going to lose everybody, because there's just nothing left. I mean, unless you got King Kong coming in to fight him, I don't know what else they're going to do. So it's got to be going with Brock. And I don't see the Usos carrying the tag titles. And I don't see a world where they have the tag titles and he's not, on top.
Well, they could, and that could be a way to turn him face again if they banish him for losing the head of the table, and he loses, but they kept the faith, or they kept the
sure. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a possible storyline, but if they're going to lose them, it's not going to be at this show. So
I agree. All right, so now we have the United States title. We got Theory champion defending against Bobby Lashley.
Oh man, it's tough. It's been an interesting feud. I've caught some of it. I saw the pose down that they did, and as someone who was a former bodybuilder and grew up with 2 parents who were bodybuilders, I have an eye for form, for when you hit poses and stuff. He did good. He knew what he was doing. The camera work, however, was terrible, because like the pose, he would hit like a side chest. So ideally you want the camera somewhere where you can see his chest, but they're like shooting him from like the back or the side or something like that. And it just was like, well, you're not doing this guy any credit. I'm like, he's hitting the moves. He's doing it right. Put the camera in front of him.
So that's interesting you say that. And I'm glad you brought it up, especially with your experience, because when I was watching it, I was thinking I didn't have the expertise that you had, but I thought the camera angles did not help the
no
production.
He looks good. He's very symmetrical.
Yeah.
He's obviously extremely muscular and lean and everything and stuff, and he knew proper form for posing and stuff. Now so does Bobby Lashley, but but anyway, I felt like Theory got a little screwed in that whole thing. I really think that it's going to be Theory that goes over in this. I mean, they've really given Bobby a lot of build up, but there's no good reason for him to not have the title, other than the fact that if Austin, or I guess he's not Austin Theory, if Theory keeps the title, the crowd, he's catching a lot of heat now. he's getting a lot of heat, and for every one of these guys he gets past, that heat gets hotter and hotter and hotter. He's had a real good build up with Bobby, and if he can somehow, he can cheat to win. I mean, there's no stip on this that I know of. So, or he could just get DQ'd or who knows what. So, it just builds that heat up for him even more. I think they're rolling with it, and it makes the United States Championship mean more, because at some point someone's going to finally have to beat him for that title, and when it happens, it'll mean more because they've built this up so much. So as much as I love good old Bobby Lashley, I think he might just kind of get screwed in this whole thing one way or the other.
Well, I have a theory.
Boy, you've been waiting to say that. You've been waiting to see that.
And it's interesting that you wore that shirt today, because that ties into my theory. I think Cena in theory at SummerSlam. For that to happen, I think Cena interferes, costs Theory gets a. I think Lashley gets a DQ win over Theory. Theory retains the belt. Theory and Cena. And although it makes no sense towards what you were saying in terms of building up the belt, I think Cena's going to win the title at SummerSlam, because he hasn't won that title before.
Oh, yeah, he has. The United States Championship.
He has?
Yeah, that was the first spinner belt he ever had, was the U.S. Championship.
Well, all right, that blows my theory. But I'll just edit that part out so I don't look dumb.
Well, they could have the match and have a non-title match. It doesn't have to be a title. I mean, because what the hell is he going to do with the United States Championship?
I still say it still does not change my prediction for this.
I mean, the match could happen. I just don't see why they'd even bother with the title. They would just make it a personal thing and never bring up the championship. I mean, because if Cena wins it, then what's he going to do with it?
Good point.
He's not going to hang out for the next 6 months and be the U.S. champion. So
he might hang out for a short time. But in either case, I'm going with Lashley. And see, I'm not taking a safe prediction here. I'm going with Lashley with a DQ win, so he doesn't get the title.
Well, okay, yeah.
But if Lashley wins either way, I get the title, the credit. It doesn't have to be DQ. That's just my scenario.
Okay, well, wait. Let's.
I'm picking if Lashley gets the win.
Yeah.
Then I'm correct. I'm just saying.
But a DQ win for him will count. Will that count?
Yeah, he wins.
If he wins, he just doesn't lose the title. Okay, yeah,
right.
All right, yeah. A win's a win. A win's a win.
All right. Okay. Now we go for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We got, and I love this match. This match I really love. We got the champ Ronda Rousey versus Natalya or Natty.
Poor Natalya.
For Natalya, she's headlining or she's got a match on a pay-per-view.
I know, but it shouldn't be like such a rarity for someone who's been around as long as she has. She's such an here's the thing. She's underutilized, but at the same time, I feel like when she's gotten the ball and she's been out there, I don't know. I don't buy into her personality so much or her character, but I know people who do. And I know people
something.
Yeah, there is just it seems like there's a hole in it somewhere, it's just like that. I just can't get invested. I will say I do know some people who like really feel like they relate to her or whatever, and it's like, well, that's good. I mean, I just, for whatever reason, I don't make a connection to Natalya, and I feel like I must not be the only one, because she's only had the belt one time as far as I know. And the thing is that she's trained most of the other girls on the roster. I mean, the reason those girls are as good as they are is because she's the one who taught them how to do it. She's a good wrestler.
It's almost like she's too good.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing, the whole paradox of Natalya, but she I don't know. She just keeps getting screwed on. She gets they throw her a title match once in a while and everything, and she ends up losing. Is Ronda Rousey, I don't know. It's tough. A betting man, I'm going to give you two answers. One, I'll commit to one as my official one, but a betting man would say Ronda Rousey. And I'm going to go with that as my official answer. However, I don't think that's necessarily the right thing to do. I just think that's what they're going to do. Okay. I think the right thing to do would be for Natalya to win that title and then really ramp up a rivalry between Natalya and Ronda Rousey. Because if you want to help pull Natalya out of the quicksand, get her in a feud with the top woman in the company right now, arguably.
Well, no, that's an excellent point. And not only could it pull Natalya out of the quicksand, it could also help Ronda, because Ronda isn't quite
cranking on all the same cylinders she was before when she first came out. It was a big deal then, and now people have kind of settled into her being there,
Right.
It's
but I'm going with Ronda. I have no other scenario. Ronda's got to win this. Natalya is not going to take the title now. I don't see it. She's not going to go into SummerSlam as the champ. I like your scenario. I would like to see Natalya win it and have a nice feud with her.
They could make her super heel and then have them get into a feud with each other. And again, you've got somebody like Natalya who really knows what she's doing in the ring. And then you've got someone like Ronda Rousey who in her way also really knows her stuff too. You could have some great technical wrestling matches between those two girls. And, like I said, give Natalya some real, make her really super heel. I think it would develop both of them great, but
I think this is going to be a hell of a match though.
I hope it is. I hope I hope they take advantage of this. Whatever the outcome is, I hope they take advantage of this to show that to everybody that these are two people who could put on one hell of a match. And, this could be like a, Benoit Guerrero type, feud, if you give it that chance and you really juice it, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, like I said, if I was in Vegas and I had to put money on it, I'm going to go with Ronda Rousey on this.
All right. Well, we agree on that one. Next up, we have the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair defending against Carmella.
Well, if Carmella wins, I will just turn inside out. And then you'll need to find a new partner for the show. No. If Carmella beats Bianca Belair, here's the thing. I mean, not only is it obvious that Bianca Belair could just beat the crap out of her, there's just no two ways about it. So then you got to start looking at interference or something. You got to figure at some point Corey Graves might start jumping in there and getting involved in some of these things. It makes perfect sense now. They've come out about being married and everything. Everybody knows, but the thing is even if he was to help her and she somehow won the title, we're now in the predicament of Carmella being the women's champion.
Going into SummerSlam. Yeah, not going to happen.
I don't see it happening. I see maybe something in that realm, maybe down the road or whatever. He starts jumping in more. I mean, they've got to. I mean, you're talking. Yeah. It's kind of like a reverse Macho Man and a Miss Elizabeth type thing. It's like he's right there. He's at ringside. For her matches or even at least pay-per-view matches and stuff. So but so I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair, but
there might be shenanigans.
I've seen WWE do some stuff that,
well, I'm going Bianca Belair, and WWE, if I will turn myself inside out as well if she does not win this match.
Yeah.
I mean, Carmella, no. Carmella is nothing but a placeholder at this point, just to get us to SummerSlam. I don't know who Bianca will face then, but it's not going to be Bianca, or it's not
Right,
going to be.
because you're gonna have at SummerSlam, you're gonna have, you know, you're gonna have Bianca Belair take on somebody like serious, like a real heavyweight opponent, you know. So
Maybe Sasha Banks
so to speak.
returning.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
All
I
right.
don't know what that situation is right now.
She's not
All
calling.
right.
All right. Now we go to the men's Money in the Bank match. Strap it down. We got Seth freaking Rollins. Just for you. Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Omos, Sami Zayn, Riddle, and TBA.
I bet that'll be Logan Paul.
That would be interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Not for me.
Well, I know that you're going to side against Riddle, so we can kind of hit. I know there's no way you think that's going to happen. I don't think Rollins needs it. I honestly think there's a good chance that if we go off of the guys that we do know, because I think the mystery person is probably, you know, the most likely one to get it. But if we're going to go off the list, I would say almost.
Well, I wouldn't.
Okay.
And I like your idea for Logan Paul as the mystery guy. And he's not going to win it. And that would be perfect because he's a mystery guy, gets a big pop. He's not going to win the Money in the Bank. No way. It's going to be Seth freaking Rollins.
Okay. Why do you think that?
Well, he doesn't need it, like you said, but I did. It was a process of elimination. Clearly, it's not going to be Riddle. It's not going to be Sami Zayn. Sheamus is.
See, I don't think it's clearly not going to be Riddle. I don't think it's clearly not, because I would put Riddle behind almost. You know, I would say I would say he'd be next if it wasn't almost. I mean, Riddle's on a roll, man, and everybody wants to see that guy win the Money in the Bank. You know,
Well, people might want to see it, but they're not going to.
Man,
he's fodder. Sheamus is fodder. McIntyre is fodder.
Sheamus and McIntyre are definitely fodder. I don't know about Riddle. Almost could be either fodder or, you know, the odds-on favorite, in my opinion. It's like they could just be throwing him in there.
Could be a red herring.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough one. You know, there's some Money in the Banks are easier to call than others. You know, it's just such a weird mishmash of people. Sami Zayn, there's, you know, I don't want to see him with the Money in the Bank. You know,
Neither do I.
You know, and it's too bad because I liked Sami Zayn for the longest time, and the gimmick he's been doing for the last like year and a half or whatever. It's just exhausting. I'm not entertained. The whiny, you know, I liked when he was the fun guy who danced out to the ring in his checkered pants and everything and stuff, and was a face, and everybody cheered for him, and you know, so
yeah, I mean, I don't mind him as a heel, just not what he's doing now.
Yeah.
I almost picked almost just so you know, he was my second choice.
You almost picked almost.
I save those jokes are mine, man. You start taking my spot. All right, we're gonna move on to the women's Money in the Bank match.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we got Lacey Evans, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, Shotzi Blackheart, well, I guess she's just Shotzi now, and Becky Lynch. I don't think there's a TBA, but you never know.
Man. Well,
this is a tough one.
It is a tough one. I'm gonna say no on Alexa Bliss. I'm gonna say no on Asuka. I'm gonna say no on Becky Lynch. So and I'm gonna say no on Liv Morgan. So that leaves Lacey Evans and Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi.
I'm with you so far.
Man, it's tough because all three of them are kind of getting a push right now. You know, Raquel got a couple of wins over Ronda Rousey. You know, Lacey Evans, they're pushing her and her storyline, and which I don't know. maybe let's not talk about that. But you know, and then Shotzi again. I don't like what they're doing with her, but they are pushing her. I don't know. I'm gonna say of the people here, I'm gonna go with Lacey Evans.
I'm going with Raquel. I think
Yeah.
that she's gotten a big push lately. I think that the wins over Rousey, I think are going to come into play. I think she might win this. It depending on the order of the matches. If she wins this, she could cash it in right away on a beaten up Ronda, or
True.
this could set up the SummerSlam match of Rousey versus Raquel. In which case, I would be all over that. I did the same thing you did. I immediately knocked out a handful of them. Lacey Evans, no. Alexa, I mean, I like them all, or most of them.
It's just they don't need it right now. They don't. Yeah, you know, they don't seem like they know what they're doing with Alexa Bliss right now.
Right.
I mean, she's just kind of out there. So I mean, you know,
she's treading water.
She needs a direction before you start giving her something like the Money in the Bank. So,
well, like you. So then, for me, it came down to Shotzi and Raquel. There's some thought that Becky Lynch and Seth might both win and have the married couple. I don't see that happening. I wouldn't mind it happening. I like both of them. But
yeah, it's a good idea, but I don't see that. You know, like maybe next year or something. But I don't think Becky. They're making Becky work her way back up from the bottom. It seems like, and I don't think they're going to give her that free pass with the Money in the Bank.
No, agreed. So I'm going with Raquel. So we have who did you pick for that? You picked
Lacey Evans.
You picked Lacey?
Yeah, I picked Lacey.
Oh, I thought you mocked her. Okay, so we have two different. We picked you picked.
Oh
Lacey.
well, I don't like what there's something I don't like about her whole storyline and everything, but I still think that she could end up winning the thing. I mean, Raquel would be the next one, and I mean she would be my second. If it wasn't Lacey, I would say Raquel. So
all right, well,
I hear you on that one. So
we have two different of the 6 matches.
Okay.
So those are the ones I need to concentrate on. I need to win at least one of those to stay on the show.
Okay.
That's all I know.
It sure is.
Well, with that, a successful debut or re-debut, I guess I would say, of Pinfalls. Any last words?
No, other than as always, you know, you're always welcome to come by for the pay-per-view. It's a Saturday night pay-per-view. It's a Saturday night.
It is, but I will be in Indiana. Got a little family thing going.
Yeah, you're always in Indiana with a family thing going.
Well, I have family in Indiana. That's what happens.
Man,
you didn't ask me.
I keep hearing about this family in Indiana. I haven't really met any of them, but
you met my sister.
I did meet your sister. What were you going to say?
You always ask us. You didn't ask it this time, and I actually had it ready.
The stats.
Your stats for this year, our stats for this year, you're 18 and 18. You're 27 and 25 lifetime. For me, this year, I'm a woeful 13 and 23, but a solid 51 and 32 lifetime.
Now, okay, when you say lifetime, now that includes your predictions with like when
Other
you had Joey Roth and stuff. Okay,
yes.
See, then I don't care about those stats.
Well, I do.
Well, okay, well, good for you. But the only thing I care about is between us. So I say just go off of this year because we really started keeping track at that point and stuff.
Well,
so
I could dig up your.
Well, no, I know we can go back and look at all of the stuff and everything. So I know they're accurate. It's fine, but I just like all I'm saying is all I care. So I'm 18 and 18, so I'm batting 500.
You're 5 above me this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm 5 above.
5 wins above.
But of my predictions, I'm 18 or 18 right, 18 wrong.
Correct.
Okay.
Now again, in our defense.
So I'm batting 50. It's a 50-50 shot. I mean, it's really about how else to fit it.
Yeah, that's in our defense though, we did include the Royal Rumble, in which case, the odds of us picking the actual winner for both those matches, it's pretty slim that we're going to actually pick the winner of that match. But nonetheless, we counted our record because that's just who we are.
That's right. It's our journalistic integrity
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that, Tommy, I appreciate you joining me as always. Everyone check us out on the Johngy OR Else Podcast Network. Find us on YouTube. Find us on Spotify. Check us out next month on the next edition of Pinfalls. Watch Pinfalls. Watch WWE Money in the Bank tomorrow and see how we do.
And this will also, as of this episode, start airing on our Spotify network as well as a side series. So
Well,
you can check out that, and if you want to hear and listen to this and not have to watch us, we'll be on there. So go to the Johngy OR Else Podcast on Spotify for Pinfalls and other episodes.
take us home, Tommy.
John, for Pinfalls, I have been who else but Tommy Else, and you have been John Wroblewski of JohnG'sBeat.com. Thank you. Goodbye.